Hello, hello, hello. What is going on? I am Dr. Stevii Shamil, super excited to be here for the conversation with Stevii. This is the place where we uncover the why behind what people do. And to let you know a little bit about what I do, I help subject matter experts use their expertise and experience to increase their income online. My name is spelled Stevii, and the I's in my name stand for increasing income. Super excited about that. But more importantly, I'm super excited for our guest to be here. Listen, I call her Lady D. I've been calling her that for many, many, many years. But her name is Daria Rosen. And without any further ado, how are you doing, Daria?
Good morning. I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing great, doing great. Thank you so much. I believe that the greatest introduction one can do is of themselves. So without me introducing you, I want you to go ahead and tell the people who you are, what you do, and why you do it.
Okay. I am Daria Rosen, and my goal is to help women shake off the fear, ditch the shame, and embrace the change as they graduate from their reproductive years and prepare for their next season of life. So the symptoms of perimenopause don't have to take over your life if you actually understand and you manage those systems. And my solution is to do things technology-driven. But that's because my background is technology. And so I take things that are sometimes difficult to understand and I make them into bite-sized, easily chewable pieces.
Listen, I am personally excited about having this conversation, not just because you're one of my favorite people in the world. That's not it. But more importantly, because I am in that perimenopause age group. I believe, what are the normal quote-unquote ages of this? Because I know it kind of depends on everybody. Everybody's different. But is there an age that it shows up primarily?
For women, between 40 and 54 is the typical age that women will start to see, feel, and experience symptoms. For some women, it's as early as their 30s. And again, it's like the bell curve. You've got the 80%, but then you have the outliers, those who it happens early and those where it is much later.
Yep. So I am currently 44. I'll be 45 in a little while in October. And so at the time of this recording, this is a special recording for our She Source series, and Daria is one of our She Source celebrities. So, yes, I am telling my age right now just because I want to have a real conversation with y'all. Listen, I'm gonna put myself out here on Front Street and ask some real questions for you, just listening to the conversation. But what would you say are the symptoms? Like, what are the things to say, okay, we're triggering into this?
There are 6 symptoms that many women will start to experience and not even realize that is their hormones. But one of them is that their period will change. For some, it will get heavier. Some, it will become lighter. It will become less regulated. Another is hot flashes or night sweats. For some women, their skin will start to dry out or it will change. Others, their hair will begin to thin. And then one of the ones that many people will experience, but they may not realize it, but their loved ones will, is that they'll have mood swings. And people will look at you like, what's wrong with you? You were just fine. And so many of those things are not, and that's why I said you're not going crazy. It's your hormones. But because we don't know that those are things that are symptoms that our hormones are changing, one, we as females are reticent to share with somebody. Again, your family and your coworkers might think, she's just gone crazy. And then 2, we don't say anything to the doctor because we tend to think that if I'm having a symptom, it's something bad. We automatically go to the worst. So those 6 things are some of the primary symptoms that people will start to see.
Yes. I know when I was growing up, my cycle used to be 7 days. Now it's more about 5 days. So I'm like, okay, which is a great thing for me because I'm like, okay, I appreciate the less days, but I do know that's a big change that's going through. I look at my age. I look at, what I want to ask you definitely, some of the psychological factors, the mental thoughts people have, because I know as I'm growing to menopausal ages, then I'm more like, specifically because I don't have any children right now, it's like, what about kids? What about this? What about that? Have you seen any of your clients or even yourself have those type of thoughts or any other mental changes that may happen?
I experience those kind of things because I actually made the decision to climb the corporate ladder. That was my goal, climb the corporate ladder. I wasn't thinking about marriage, wasn't thinking about children. So I didn't get married till I was 39, and then I thought, okay, he wants children, we'll try to have children, but I was unable to. If I had known some of those symptoms and some of those things, I might have made different decisions. And that's one of the things. If people have information, they may make different decisions, but they may also make the same decision knowing that, okay, I'm making the decision with the knowledge. I, on the one hand, once I realized that I was going to not be able to have children, I kept having the mental thing of, I'm broke. And as women, we tend to think that our entire purpose is that we have to have children. And so for many who cannot or who went through perimenopause early and then subsequently couldn't have children, they have that mental portion of, I am broken. And I just want to say to you, you're not broken. That just may not be the path that you were to be on, and that it may be that you have a mission to be able to help others behind you. And that's kind of how I feel that, no, you're not broken, but I understand totally all of the roller coaster of emotions when that comes.
Wow. And so this is a great time for me to ask this question. That's my fill-in-the-blank question I normally ask guests who come to have a conversation with me. It literally goes like this. Dr. Stevie, we cannot leave the conversation today without everyone knowing, and then go ahead and fill in the blank.
We cannot leave the conversation today without everyone knowing that your journey of perimenopause is different than mine and the next woman. So just because someone is doing something or having symptoms that you aren't, may or may not mean that you are not also going through perimenopause. The other thing that we cannot leave without knowing is that when I am referring to perimenopause, that means pre-menopause. Menopause is when you have been without a menstrual cycle for 12 consecutive months. The years leading up to that with all of the symptoms, that's perimenopause. So that's one of the things that I want people to know before we leave.
That's good. That's really good because a lot of people get it confused. You're right. And I wanted to ask you a question about the fact of how long does this primarily last? Like, is it, I know you said the years leading up. Could it be like you're going through this for more than a year, more than 5 years? Is there a certain time that has been said that most people go through it?
It can last for many years for some women. So, say, for example, some it could be months. The majority, it's years. And there may be some people, like I said, to reach menopause, it's 12 consecutive months of no cycle. So if a woman does not have a cycle for 11 months, and then one comes, she has to start that counter over. So there is no set amount. The same way that we all started our cycles at different ages, you said that yours typically lasted 7 days. Mine were very short. So, again, each woman is different, and that's why I want people to know so that if they start to see these things, that they can have those conversations with their doctors, that, hey, and you may get physicians who said, you don't have to worry about that. And the other thing that I like to let people know is if you have a physician that does not listen to your concerns, you need to find another physician. You need to find somebody who will listen to you, because they can run tests, and tests at different times. My nursing friends have shared with me that a test may come back because that test will change in regard to those hormone levels. But to be able to have that conversation, be able to ask for those tests, if you said you were tired, they'd say, well, let's run an iron test. So there really should not be that much of a difference in you have concerns, just run a test to alleviate your concerns. But to answer your question, it can last for years for many women.
Wow. This is great information, y'all. We're about to get Daria's information so you can stay connected. Because, listen, I'm going through this. I need to know the facts, honey. So it's a whole lot of stuff that happens in these 40s. And it's so funny because I remember when I was turning 40, y'all, I did back then with Periscope where I met Daria, was a thing. I did what was called Pass the Cast about the 40s. I need to know all the lessons that I'm walking into. So this is information. Just like I needed to do it. That's why I'm always going to get the information. So if we go through this, and I'm not the only one out here listening to this, we need to know. So I'm going to make sure y'all get her contact information. Another question I wanted to ask you, and to thank you as well, for becoming the She Source celebrity and making that investment of your time, energy, effort, and also a financial investment. How did you really decide to support this mission and vision of She Source, and why was it important to say yes to this for you?
It was you're welcome. It was important to me because I have a tendency to not be visible, as everyone knows that you inquire us to do and that you implore us to do. And it was just an opportunity. It's like, Daria, you have no excuse to not be visible. You may want to hide, but there are people who need to hear what you have to say. So think of me as that auntie that you can have that conversation with. And so I decided to be visible to support you and to support the other women who may be having the conversations, but they're too embarrassed to say something to those that are close to them. So thank you.
Yes, thank you, because this is, listen, important. We all are going through it. And the beautiful thing, or not so beautiful thing, is that we all are going to go through it together, right, as a woman. We're going to go through it, and everybody's different. So it's not like I can tell you my story and my symptoms and all these things that are related to me, but it may or may not be helpful. And a lot of times we take advice from somebody who's not knowledgeable about something, and that's across the board and all kinds of stuff. We take advice from that person, but I am just excited that you, as somebody who is in this field and who has lived this journey and who has the expertise in it, really came to support this mission and vision in the show, because it's important. We all going to go through it at some part of our life, as half the population in this country. So, in this world, not in this country. But we have to look at this and be very serious about it, because, like you said, there is a tendency to think, what is wrong with me? And that's the first thing a lot of women think, which is on a deeper level. We're going to have to come back to that conversation another day, because that's on a whole different level. When you have, what is wrong with me? Nothing is wrong with you. And we've dispelled that rumor today. But, Lady D, before we let you go, please, please, please do give your contact information.
My contact information is www.imstillhot.com. And you'll be able to reach me via social media through that link. You can also download a checklist of some of the more common symptoms so you can see that you may not be going crazy, but you may be entering into the phase of perimenopause. So www.imstillhot.com.
Yeah, y'all go get it, because it's getting hot in here. Hey, Kid and Nelly. All right. Y'all go get it for real. Listen. That might be a good thing for you to do, because we need that list. So go to I'mStillHot.com and make sure that you are not only going to list, but all your good girlfriends. You know you got that good girlfriend who y'all sitting and sharing fans with, okay? So I am Dr. Stevie Aisha Mills. This has been The Conversation with Stevie. We are so grateful today that Lady D, Daria Rosen, has come by to have this conversation. I can be reached at workwithstevie.com. Again, workwithstevie.com. All you need to know is to spell my first name correctly, Stevii, and it'll get you right there. So I always end everything I do literally the same way, and it is to say, make it a great day. Don't have a great day. Make it a great day. Why? Because you, and yes, you too have the power to do so. Bye for now.